just very short one because we don't have footage, but yeah.
And we're back again already.
Hello.
G'day.
It's been very quick these past few weeks. Another month already gone.
The intro caught me off guard because it was a new one, and I went, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. The video file actually ended up corrupting, so I had to
Oh,
make a
damn.
very, very quick one just the other day.
I still like it. It's good.
So on that note, guys, send in some clips.
Yeah.
Get them to me.
Yes, of cool shit. Not, vehicles going flying across and entering the stratosphere.
But that's ARMA. That's ARMA.
Yeah, it's an honest depiction. That's true. Anyway, hi everyone. So this is weird, but hi, I'm Lieutenant Razorjacks.
Yeah, that is quite weird, and I'm Sergeant Wanderer now.
And with this, we've got still Major Thomas.
I need a promotion. I think everyone's moving up, and I'm just sitting stagnant. I think we'll not really sort that out.
All right, Sergeant Major. There we go. All right, so for all of our new recruits, all our rookies, and all that sort of stuff, yeah, Brigadier Thomas, that's it. For everyone that's new, hasn't been here, or has just joined us, or whatever, we do this once a month. Generally, we try and do it the Friday following the company meeting. But Wanderer was selfish and decided to take a bit of a camping trip, so we didn't get to do it.
That hurts.
Yeah, well, you abandoned us, so. And we just sort of talk a bit of shit, have a bit of fun, and sort of discuss things that have happened over the last month, things that are coming up, talk about some of the ops, some of the feedback, all that sort of stuff. It's just a sort of chuck it on in the background and have a listen. Jump in the chat if you've got questions or anything you want to add. And yeah, that's basically what we do. For the new guys and the guys that have been in here before, I don't really need to say it, but will anyway. Discipline expectations are basically our Asot guidelines, and on top of that, obviously the Twitch terms of service. So nothing, inappropriate. Don't want to see anything, racist or anything like that. Because the last thing we need is this getting banned, because then we can't do it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of work has gone into this, and it's the last thing we want to see is that happening.
Anything to add on that, Dino?
No, I just got to be careful what I say sometimes because I'm generally the one that pushes. I have to actually inform myself a little bit more on the Twitch TOS because I don't actually know too much about it because I've never streamed or anything. So, but,
basically, it's just one-on-one on how not to be. Actually, you should. Yeah, you should have a read.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome.
So for those new guys, just so you understand, our structure. So we go through, we'll have different guests every episode, and we'll go through. We actually, Razor and I will sit down, organise questions, and we'll interview our different guests. This one's working a little bit different tonight. We've actually got something a bit different with all the changes. You guys will see. We'll go through our questions, obviously talking some shit and just having a good time, and then throughout that, you guys have questions, throw them in chat. We'll try to get to them, but there's no guarantee that we will every time. We do try our best to, but yeah, just be understanding with that.
Yep. So I guess without any further ado, grab a beer, kick back, take your pants off, and we'll get into the first question, which is mine. And surprisingly, it's for Dino. What?
Send it.
What are your thoughts and feelings on the last month of changes? We've had a fair bit of sort of upheaval and stuff. So how are you sort of feeling about all the changes going on in the unit and the members coming in and all that sort of thing?
Yeah, well, it's been a very roller coaster sort of month. I won't lie. There's been a lot of different emotions and things happening. For me personally as well, as most of you know, I've been on course and doing exams and stuff. So it's all sort of happened at, I suppose, quite a busy period of my own personal life. But over the last sort of couple of weeks, and I suppose well, we'd be pushing a bit of a month, about a month or so now. I have I'm really excited. Essentially, long story short, is I'm really excited. We've already seen some really awesome changes with new faces coming in, new sorts of eagerness and keenness and skills, and just sort of that new determination. And yeah, it's always good to have fresh faces into a unit or into a community because it just brings fresh. Fresh ideas, fresh set of eyes, and different levels of skill and knowledge, not just ARMA, but also other games and things like scripting, editing, like decals and that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's been roller coaster, as I said, but we're definitely on the upwards climb now, and just skyrocketing forward in an upwards direction, which is awesome to see. So it's been really good to see the, I suppose, evolution of Asot just continue. So it's really good to just see that we can bounce back from pretty much anything, and we'll continue strong into the future no matter what. So it's been really good.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason that this episode is called The Next Chapter, because that's essentially what it is for ASOT at this point. It's we're not starting completely fresh. It's we had some stuff, and the stuff there was a problem, there was a climax, there was a solution, and now it's the next chapter for any of you English author literary buffs out there.
And I do remember saying to Razor while everything was sort of going on that I thought it was, going to prove to be the make or break for ASOT when it came to longevity, and it's proven that we got through something like that, and we're still together as a community and still going. We'll get through just about anything. It's going to be pretty hard to stop us at this point.
Yeah, 100%. It's just because, don't get me wrong, it sucks to lose veteran members. It sucks to lose any member, really, because you've put time and effort into those people, whether it's a private or the highest levels. But it comes with its benefits, and everyone has their time within a unit, and just it was time for some, and that's pretty much it. Whether people whether people have personal issues or whatever, that's not really me. I try to just treat people how I would like to be treated, and I'll whether it's people leaving Milsim or going to new units or whatever, I'm happy to support everyone as long as they do the right thing by me and the community. So it's been okay so far, and we'll just hope for that it continues as such.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting to see what sort of comes next.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
moving into the future, sort of throughout the changes, we're seeing a lot of different changes come in, and some plans for more changes to come in again. So what are you thinking for the future of ASOT?
It's a good question. There is a lot, but at this time we're just sort of looking to sort of go back to basics, like just taking that step back, regrounding, and focusing on some things that we find important, and just to sort of take that step and like fix up any sort of niggling things that have been bothering us, and that way we're able to push forward into the future proper with the right plans and right structure and personnel and all that sort of stuff. So there's definitely long-term goals, there's definitely short-term goals, but we're at this time we're just sort of settling and filling those spots, which will be done by the end of next week at this rate, and we'll look into the longevity or the future for that. To be a little bit more specific, the same sort of plan with the expansion is still very much in play. We have the ability to expand further. We definitely have the numbers there to support that as well. But again, we just want to make sure that we're set up correctly before we do that. In terms of sort of I suppose, call signs and all that sort of stuff. Pretty happy with what we're doing. Everyone seems to enjoy what we are currently. So there's no real look to change anything drastically there. There may be some slight adjustments in numbers in call signs and stuff, but that's all pretty much happened anyway. In terms of missions and all that sort of stuff, we can just keep doing what we do. That's what people love in the community. And yeah, so we're going to keep doing a variety of things to keep it fresh and keep people intrigued in the ARMA atmosphere. What else? I want to try and get some sort of more joint stuff going, so joint ops. It's just very time consuming, and it's difficult sometimes to organize with other communities, because especially on, like, they might be playing on the Saturday and or on the Sunday, for example, and obviously it's hard to coordinate sometimes. So yeah, that is something I want to try to do, but it's as it always has been. It's kind of low on the priority list, just due to not the complexity of it, but just the nature of organizing things like that. But yeah, we still have excellent relationships with a lot of units, and I just want to strengthen that, if not maintain it. And yeah, we have guys going over for midweeks and stuff still, so yeah, that should continue. Some other minor things, just getting things like our other servers back up and running. So just lots of little things like that, pretty much just housekeeping, making sure that those are good to go. We've got them kicking about, having other events run, and just, yeah, sort of just the little things to try to fix up any loose ends and that sort of stuff, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah,
you kind of touched off on a little bit, but sort of, other than that stuff, what do you think will be the next big step to moving towards that sort of future of, obviously we've got the numbers to do it,
okay,
to expand, but
yeah,
what would be your next step to move towards that?
It's a good question. I think the biggest thing is making sure that you are set up for it, I think, and that's something that an assisted unit has actually tried just recently. I was speaking to someone I think it was 2 nights ago, that tried, and unfortunately it didn't work for them, so they had to take that step back, because they weren't prepared for the extra numbers, the second platoon, the training upkeep, and et cetera, et cetera. So it is a big step, but it's certainly something I want to look towards, because only with expansion do you have more people's ideas and more eagerness and the ability to do different things and better things, because people, you get people from X units and they bring in their own experience and knowledge, so which we've seen excessively within Asot. Just look at our our J4 team and the new staff like you guys. It's just crazy to see what has happened in this time, and just with a fresh set of eyes, we've already got some awesome ideas and feedback that we are essentially going to be implementing and bringing forward to the community. So staff, stand by. We've got some ideas and things to discuss, but and then obviously company following that, or members following that. But yeah, it's just been really nice to have people that are really sort of keen and are willing to be dedicated and be a part of the community and team that we're looking for. Essentially, they're buying into what we want to do, and it's just been really successful so far. So I can't really fault it. So I go, as I do, tangent. So the next step, I suppose, is essentially make sure that we are set up for anything that we want to do. As most of our members know, we don't do anything sort of haphazard. Like, we consider a lot of things, and we take the time to talk to staff before talking to members and all that sort of stuff. So it can take some time for things to be implemented, but I think that's important. But and as we've seen recently, we've had to pull some plugs on things very quickly. It's just the nature of a unit, and that understanding really only comes with experience and doing this for so long, especially at sort of yours and my level. So yeah, for the next step, essentially grounding is probably the extremely short answer for that. Just making sure we have got all the basic shit is perfect, whether that's trainings or SOPs or whatever, down to just consistency and just all those things that people look for and that we enjoy. So that's essentially the next step. How long that's going to take, don't know. But you can't put a time frame on that. It's just when it's right, essentially. And but we are fucking we are rocketing.
You can swear.
That.
It's okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's a mature rated stream. You can swear on it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to drink my water otherwise.
Yeah, like we are just skyrocketing towards that. Like, as a lot of you guys would have seen, we put out a thing for J2 mission makers, and now we got like 6 in a single ping or a single night. Like, we're just going from good to better, essentially. And
Strength to strength, yeah.
That's why I'm just so keen to continue into the future. And
Speaking of future, we got a spicy question in the chat. Any progress / new ideas for the Delta call sign?
Something I just said to the lads just before about this, but Delta's one of those funny ones because it's something that can work really well if we have the right people, but also have the right guidelines and understanding of how that call sign is going to be utilized. So it's a good idea. Like, people really are drawn towards it. So sort of that recon sort of scout sort of role, but it's a very particular style within the actual mission. So it's all good on paper, but then once you start to do it, it's a very niche sort of role. And so you need very sort of select people to not only run it, but to be a part of it. Because honestly, recon roles and stuff and snipers and things like that, if utilized in a realistic sort of manner, are boring as batshit. Like,
There's a reason that they wear nappies. Like, they spend a lot of time sitting still. Like, that's it.
Yeah, like my real life job is armored recon, and what do? OPs. What do we do? Or how long do we do them for? Days up to weeks at a time. You're just looking at the same shit, and it is fucked. So you have to find that balance and the ability for call signs like that to be utilized correctly. And the previous Delta guys gave it an absolute red hot crack. Like, it's no shadow of a doubt they did really well. But I think in my overall opinion or view on it, we just weren't implementing them correctly. And it's one of those things that was really put on the back burner because it's just not a huge priority at the moment. And it's kind of gotten to the point where I think we'll remove it from the ORBAT, and then that just leaves up a little bit of like a few spots where we can potentially look at other things that are a lot easier to implement, both in training, both in mission making, balance, that sort of stuff. So that's sort of where I'm sitting, but it's kind of just been there or just left there because it is low priority for myself personally and for J4. It's just something that we haven't really discussed much or put a lot of time and effort into. So it's kind of the forgotten child, but not for any reasons for previous members or people that are interested. Like, we absolutely have the members that are interested in it. It's nothing like that, but it's a very niche role. It complicates missions very quickly and can be hard to accommodate for every single mission, just like other roles that we have as well. So it's just, and then adding that on top of what we already have can cause issues essentially. So it's at the moment we have no real set direction or goal at this time, but it's something that we'll be discussing. J4 will be discussing with the staff as well, and because it just opens up other options as well, essentially.
Yeah,
but good.
There's
question.
also J4 have been having their own sort of overhaul as well. So there's a lot going on.
Yep.
Couple of interesting sort of things there from Hunter Shadow 751. Sorry guys, I know I probably know you in game, but Twitch names are completely different. So give us a yell of who you actually are. But unless you want to stay anonymous, in which case, good job, and we will find out who you are. The way I see it is the Zeus's. It's up to the Zeus's to give 1/1 things to do, and 1/1 to give support call signs. 1/1 need to be ready to use all supports they have. Which, yeah, I mean that's 100% true. And that's sort of the advantage of having things like FOs, so it's not all down to Pronto, which is Pronto's good, but I've only been.
Ooh, I might be having an internet issue.
PHQ for a little while, but you don't spend a lot of time on the front. While it can take away a bit from Pronto to have FOs, it does mean that you can sort of skip a bit of a middleman and get those fires in quicker, get that Kaz where you need it, get that Movrek, that Reader, whatever. But at the same time, if you're pre-planning and everything and your FOs are doing their job properly, which will obviously come with FO training, they'll be pre-marking and stuff so that Keegan and his boys can be marking that stuff down, dialing that in, as well as like Hotel and that. When it comes to Delta, as Dano said, it is sort of hard because Delta's the way I envision Delta, anyway, at least, is a bit like Mike in that generally if Delta's busy, it's because everyone else is getting shit on. So it's a hard thing to balance because I've done Delta in previous unit and everything in the way that I envision it, and it does requires a lot of patience. There's quite a bit of downtime. There's ops where you won't do anything, and I made it really clear to the guys, if you're looking to do some SF, fucking rappelling into open combat sort of shit, it's probably not what you're looking for. It's possibly something Delta does occasionally, but not every week. Most of it is sitting around waiting for somebody to get into a shit situation and then go support them while Mike patches them up and stuff. So it is hard with that for 1/1 to just find things for him to do.
You pretty much nailed it on the head. It's like, well, if you utilize a call sign as a QRF, that's, as you said, they're waiting around for shit to go wrong and to then be utilized. And you can only do that for a certain amount of time, but because like any other role or like things like Zeusing or any response asset really there is aspects of waiting, and it is unavoidable, unfortunately, unless it is so hard that call signs are requesting you every 10 minutes, and it takes a very understanding, patient group to do that for a long time. Like I see, they might do it for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, but then 12 months down the line, when you've done a handful, maybe 20 or so call-ins, that just takes its toll on anyone. And I don't want to do that to people and potentially ruin their drive or desire for milsim, let alone Asot, because of that. So, but you look at it in the other sense of, we'll use them as recon instead, and that's same with any recon team or any sniper team or anything like that. If they're used correctly, snipers, their primary role is recon. That's not to shoot dudes at a KOA. Like their primary task is reconnaissance. And so if they are utilized correctly, they aren't going to shoot anyone, essentially. And who wants to do that? Like, you're playing a milsim game to shoot things. So it's just one of those very niche things that needs to be thought of and be able to cover a variety of things. Like Echo, for example, like our engineers, they don't just do engineer stuff. They do a wide variety of things because it's such a niche role, but we've made it work. So yeah, it's just one of those really difficult things to implement, which we just haven't really put in the priority list. So long and short of it, really.
Also, don't complain when you reactively use golf and it takes a long time to hit the ground. Golf is best used proactively. Absolutely. And hopefully that's something we'll see less of with the FO training and that sort of thing. We'll see more proactive marking and all that sort of thing. I know one thing we used to do in Charlie was if we knew that there weren't civilians or something in the area and we didn't have to, I guess, maintain as much of the civilian infrastructure or whatever as possible. There's enemies there. Hey, golf, 50 rounds. Hey, gee, go nuts.
There's a couple of dudes in a building somewhere in that town.
Yeah, we want
mission prepared a copy.
Yeah, we want that town to be gone, or
Just
at least
full-
very easy to find those guys.
Just full US style, just like he's got a rock.
Yep.
Send a javelin at him.
Yeah,
But yeah.
but no, it is absolutely best used proactively. Just be aware of when you're using it and when it's probably not the best answer.
Yeah.
Who needs CQB when you have golf? Yeah.
Precisely.
Good questions, Keegan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know if the what can they do that other signs can't do effectively was more of a rhetorical question. But essentially, yeah, like there's some things that Delta as a QRF can do better as a smaller unit, like recon and that sort of thing. But as we sort of touched on, it takes a very, sort of special mindset, really. It's something that I quite enjoyed doing when I did it, but I know that there's not many people that will enjoy spending most of your ops sitting on security for PHQ, and that's all you do,
Or just sitting on a hill, looking at something and reporting it, and then watching the target that you watched for 20 minutes be destroyed by someone else. Like it just,
or just roll off into the distance and nothing ever happens.
Yeah.
It's cool. Let's mix it up a bit. Dino, do you want to throw one at us?
Yeah. Well, I've got a couple of questions. So, I suppose being new into the positions that you are in, what how have you guys found the role so far in terms of being newly PHQ?
Wonder, you want to take this one first? I've done a lot of talking, so.
Yeah, I can take this. I think it's been a bit of a spin, honestly. It's crazy. I know, at least for my path, I started as Charlie machine gunner within Asot, and then all of a sudden was thrown into Seco, and now all of a sudden I'm sergeant of the platoon. Like, it's absolute spin out, and other than that, it's been pretty well the challenge that I've been looking for, I guess. The burnout was happening, well, not really happening, but starting to happen a little bit. We're doing, I was leading Charlie for quite a long time. I think I was Charlie Seco for about a year, and I just finally found I got to a point where I wasn't sure where to go after that, where the next level was, and then this position, Razor and I were offered these positions, and that just went, a new challenge, and it absolutely has been a challenge. But it's something that I think we give our best at, and we don't do too bad. We do all right.
Too bad. Fucking underselling it there, boys. Underselling it there. But just to, I suppose, elaborate on that, did you find that burnout sort of happened pretty rapidly? Because that's something that I was sort of aware for you guys, but it was something that struck pretty quickly, in my opinion, or my point of view. Would you agree that was something that sort of appeared its ugly head pretty quick?
I think we were feeling a bit stressed at one point, but we were like, we can bring it back, because we weren't sort of happy with where the section was going. And, there was a lot. This was also during the time of, the time of upheaval, we'll call it. And I think that had a lot to do with it. We were sort of being like, okay, how do we sort of work with this? And we could feel our interest had slipped a bit, but it wasn't sort of like, oh, we're burnt out, we're done. And then, in the space of 2 weeks, we just went, okay, we literally, we can't maintain this because we don't have the drive to maintain it anymore.
So, I again, elaborating on that, also wonder, apparently your mic's a little bit low, you might want to crank that.
Crank her up a bit.
Did you guys find, or I suppose it's a bit of a comment and then I'll ask, do you agree again, but do you find that the call sign, attitude, and interest, drive, all the things that we've been talking about heavily contributes to each other in terms of boosting your drive, your commitment, etc., not only as section or call sign members, but also staff? Do you think that was not trying to shun anyone in previous sections or
no.
anything,
No,
but it's
no.
as a general rule, this is something that I believe happens. Do you guys agree? Do you think that is something that is heavily inspired, or heavily dictates or inspires your own drive and that sort of thing?
I definitely think so. The environment that a section, so if you're seeing a lot of burnout in a section, it's absolutely going to affect the leadership of said section, and can cause the interest to drop a bit because if you've got a section that isn't driven, they just want to show up. And I'm not saying this was Charlie by any means, but if they just want to show up, shoot shit, talk shit, don't really want to do the milsim properly, then whereas you've got leaders that want to use good tactics and are
Yeah.
driven, you're definitely going to take a hit through that, and your drive and interest is definitely going to take a blow. Whether that was the case for us, I think there was some degree of it. With everything going on, a lot of people had different opinions about the different stuff that was going on. A lot of, it was very, I guess, it sparked a lot of discussion within the end. And
Yeah.
there was a few, moments where people were upset and then losing interest and things like that, which in turn led to not as good discipline or tactic use in op, which also led to that. But I wouldn't
I,
call
sup-
it the main thing. Yeah.
I suppose it's more so. I always think as call signs as like you are part of that call sign because you want the same thing as everyone else in that call sign. And then I think if you have people that want, using your example, like say wanting to be more on the realism side than the sort of, I suppose, milsim side. So you want to be more tactical, you want to be more disciplined. Let's say you've got people that want to just be more relaxed and not so much like tactical and stuff. Then yeah, I think that those clashing with it just doesn't work essentially. Like
No, it doesn't.
you've kind of got to be all in the same boat or in the same interest.
The same mindset, yeah.
Yeah, definitely, and that just comes down to a bit of luck as well, I think, because people switch out call signs or try different things and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think it's yeah, I personally think that's important. Yeah,
I'd definitely agree with that 100%. I think it's also important to have a bit more of a broad spectrum, but that within the unit as well. Like when everyone goes through the interview, they all are known to. It's in the interview. You've got to uphold the standards that the rest of the members uphold.
Yeah.
It's part of the rules of Asot, and that sort of covers off on that broader spectrum. And then you've got your little section sort of environments, I guess, within that. It's just it's kind of, you got to break it down a bit to pick apart. Like each section are going to have their own little unique thing about them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely a two-way street. Obviously, as leadership, you set the tone for your section. If you're going in there, you're going, yeah, guys over there, yeah, fuck it, just run up, try and kill them before they kill you. Then generally, people are going to default to that sort of attitude. Don't feel it's so much the other way. Like touching on what you said about the similar mindset, I think it more comes into play when you want the more tactical realism sort of stuff. If somebody's happy to just be like, yeah, I'll run at the enemy and hope that they die before I do, they're less likely to get on board with the tactical side. Whereas if they're sort of looking for something tactical, there's I think a better chance that they're just going to sort of relax into the more casual sort of style if that's the way that the leader's doing it.
Yeah, it's essentially, I suppose, a backup. It's like if you want, and you can do a mixture of both. You might have a mindset that every second week you're going to be more tactical. Or it might be based on that it might be based on campaign. Just some things you'll decide that you want to take that more relaxed approach. But it's essentially up to the call sign, really. But as long as everyone's on the same page, I think is essentially what we're getting at. Really, is the most important thing. So.
Yeah.
Burning back down to the main points of it. Found it.
Have you found the role so far?
Yeah. Definitely challenging, but a good challenge. Yeah, that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, I'd agree. been really interesting, sort of just taking a step back, going from carrying like, enough mags that if I need it, I can chuck some to the guys, to being like, yeah, 3, 4, 5, yeah, whatever. It's fine. I don't really shoot at anything. But as I said before, as somebody that used to run Delta, I'm okay with that quieter stuff, and like the comms and organizing everything keeps me well and truly busy enough. So yeah, it's in hectic moments. I'm pretty glad that I don't stream with a camera or anything, because people would see my face being like,
Sweating.
I don't know, Wanderer, take comms. No, I really enjoy it. I like when something happens, and basically I'm in a situation where I'm like, all right, what do I do? Stop, take a breath. Right, here's what we're going to do. Come up with that plan. Maybe it's not the best one out there. Maybe with a bit more time, I could have come up with something better, or somebody else would do it differently. But that's my plan. That's what I'm running with.
Yeah. I
send that out, and it gets done. I was saying to Wanderer last op when we were doing the convoy, we pulled up at one point, and I said, all right, Alpha, I think I said Vic too, actually, but yeah, Alpha dismount and provide security. And they all sort of immediately jumped out of the vehicle as soon as that went down the chain. And then, sorry, I just got distracted by chat. Whose name changed? What? And then they took up security, and I'm like, oh, that was crazy to literally see those orders in action. And then the guys finished up what they were doing, so I'm like, all right, Alpha mount back up, and they all mounted back up, and I'm like, it's like an RTS controlled by voice commands. Cool. Except I feel bad when the guys die in this case, not like an actual RTS where I'm like, nameless soldier 703.
I feel like you guys have taken a much more hands-on approach in terms of as a PHQ. Like I've seen you guys, you were part of helping out 1-0 previous mission. Seen you guys sort of forward, like a lot further forward than not only previous PHQs but previous units. Like even myself, in like a CHQ role back in the day, very much back of the lines, often in Zeus doing, not much at all. But I feel like you guys have taken that sort of next step in the PHQ and really pushed them forward to be able to utilize them, not only to get eyes on things, but also to even potentially use your fighting capability, essentially. I think that I suppose that it's more of just a compliment into what your attitude has been in terms of the PHQ role, and just being proactive in being able to supply not only the command aspect but the tactical and the firepower aspect of your call sign as well. So I'm keen to see that further developed in not only future missions, but different campaigns and different eras and that sort of stuff, and see how that sort of affects, because as we know, eras like World War II, for example, require that command team to be quite far forward, so that they're able to respond quickly and be able to observe things. Like if you can't observe things,
and the runners can find them and stuff like that.
Yeah, if you can't see what's going on, then you need to try to be able to see what's going on. It's very easy for me to say because I can just get in Zeus and have a quick look around. But not having that ability, it can be very, very challenging, and it's one of the biggest things IRL as well as in game that is really hard to not trust, but it's Chinese whispers for everything. Not only for orders and intel and that sort of stuff, but it's just for pure action of what's going on. You might watch a call sign move to a position on a map, and then they disappear, and you're like, oh, they've been all messed up, but it might just be the Secco. And so being able to observe that and understand that, no, it's not the whole sector, it's just the Secco by chance, gives you far greater intelligence of the situation, or situational awareness of the situation or the events unfolding. And that's why when we originally had our conversation about you guys stepping up, that is something that I encourage, and you guys have taken that and run with it, which has been great. So, pat on the back, I suppose.
Yeah, it's definitely something we went in wanting to be. Not that there was anything wrong with the way the previous CHQ did things. That was their style. We wanted to go in being more of a presence, basically, like a physical presence up with them, not just a voice in their ear telling them what to do. But if you need help, we are a 2-minute drive away to assist. We're still somewhere safe. We're still back from the front line.
Yeah.
But if the shit hits the fan, we can essentially act as a QRF. We're going to obviously be a bit careful how we do it, because if Wander and I both go down, then we're in trouble.
Alpha step up.
yeah, basically, like, good luck, boys. See you in 10 minutes when I read it. But yeah, it's a different way that we wanted to approach it, and we're enjoying it, and hopefully, as you said, we'll continue to see that develop and fine tune it and that sort of thing, and hopefully it helps the guys too, to actually see PHQ there, not far from them, and able to support if needed, and being part of it, not just sort of sitting back on a hill somewhere having a cigar and a whiskey.
You lead from the front, not from the back. So
that's always been a problem of mine. More often than not, I got shot for it. But trying to find that line now of sort of being up the front but not in front.
Yeah.
So,
Well, IRL again, it's platoon commanders are for infantry anyway, and actually for Cav or for armored anyway. The troop leader or the platoon commander is like 50 meters behind the platoon, during an attack. Like, they are up in it, and they obviously have to be cautious, but they are right up there in it. And same with the troop leader. Troop leaders, and for Cav, they lead the assaults. So they're if you're in like a wedge, he's the point man. He's at the tip.
Ooh,
so
that's a ballsy place to put the guy in charge.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's in armor, but still,
it's not very thick armor. But it just goes to show like how important it is, and it sounds ridiculous for a game, but it translates to an extent, of course. But it translates, and it's good to see you guys sort of taking that on board. So
Keegan, any chance to do? Geez, you got some good questions tonight, mate.
Keep it up.
Keep it up. Loving it. And anybody else, chuck out your questions. Happy with them. We've got questions here, but if we don't get through them because we're answering yours, that's even better. Honestly, love that. Any chance to do a campaign or mission with no Blue 4 tracker? So that's basically just slang for not being able to see our own guys on the map.
Yeah.
For those that maybe aren't sure.
Yeah. That's a next level of difficulty. A lot of units do it. You could even go to the extent of not being able to see each other's drawings, or just no markings. Be like, right, there's no markings. It's just pure
grid ref.
Yeah, just pure grid refs and orders. That's next level.
Terrain features and things like that.
Yeah. You definitely can do it, and it's something I've thought about, but I probably wouldn't jump into it for a campaign. Maybe like a midweek, and just sort of see how it goes and see sort of how it's received, and then I suppose you could start where we are in terms of what we have available, and then just step it back, and then step it back, and step it back until you find that point where it's like, okay, well, this is really hard, or it's starting to affect things. The biggest factor for that is what do you call it? Momentum.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It means that every planning phase suddenly takes a much longer time. Orders become a lot more sort of complex in delivery, because we can say go here, but we can't sort of draw it out and things like that. Convoys and stuff like that would become really tricky. You would have to have active on-point navigators and convoy comms and stuff. And that's not to say that we can't do it. Like, we did a pretty awesome convoy last time, but possibly something like Dano said for a midweek or down the track when things are stabilized for us and stuff as well, and the guys know what they're doing, and it's home for them now and not just the place that they've just come into, sort of thing.
And it's
hotel will be impossible. That's true. Yeah, it would be hard for that.
But it's not even so much that having call signs, bring in requests and that sort of stuff. Like, we do that anyway to specific points. But it's the little things that you probably wouldn't think about in terms of, I've respawned. There's no pilots here. Like looking at the map and seeing that a hotel bird's on its way back is far different than if you open your map and there's no one, or there's no concept of how far away they are, or how long you may need to wait. Even
if you do just get straight into birds, like, who are you with? Oh, I'm with Bravo. Where are they? Fucked if I know.
Yeah.
Could be anywhere.
It really adds that sort of complexity or difficulty, which is something, we could definitely try, but I honestly wouldn't.
It's like hardcore mode.
Yeah, I honestly wouldn't be looking at it, making it a standardized thing, because it's just there's that fine line between enjoyment and realism, and that's sort of stepping way more towards the realism side, in my personal way.
Yeah. Cool. Keep the questions coming, guys, when you've got them. I think we've answered your first one, Dino.
Yeah. Do you want my second one?
Yeah, well, look, we may as well go one for one.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, we've kind of already spoken about it, but what have you found most challenging about your new role? So we've sort of got your opinion on it, but what have you found the most challenging aspect?
For me, there's a couple of things. One is obviously I've got a lot more assets to consider now and trying to make sure that everybody's having a good time and has stuff to do and nobody's being forgotten, including the support assets and that sort of stuff, which, sorry guys, if there's a bit of downtime, let me know. I plan on actually having a bit of a meeting at some point and discussing how we can go about that if there is a bit of downtime for a call sign so that nobody does get forgotten, because been through it, know it can suck. But the biggest thing for me would honestly be having a lot of people that I've got a lot of respect for, that I've led alongside and that sort of thing, all of a sudden now being under my command and looking to me for what do we do next. And that's like, oh shit, like that's a lot of responsibility. Like I don't want to fuck anyone over. I don't want to, get any of my guys killed, any staff, any section members. I don't, I want the op to go as smoothly and as well as possible for the guys while still being fun and challenging. So
a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, it is. And that's sort of the biggest challenge for me, is just, or the biggest spin out, I guess, is that having that responsibility when we line up for briefing and just going, wow, that's a lot of guys I've known for quite some time who I have a great deal of respect for that are now looking to me for what do we do. And it's like, I don't know. Well, I do know, because I read the briefing and I plan, but it's in the moment, it's like, oh God, do I know? Do I actually, or am I just pretending? Oh God.
Well, you've gone from 8 people or 7 people, not including yourself, to now 27 people that, is essentially very much directed by their enjoyment or how their mission can go is very much affected by what you guys do or say. And it obviously is very much mission driven as well and Zeus driven, but it's I feel that, man. I attend ops for not only my own enjoyment but a sense of responsibility to provide a good mission, good campaign to the community. It's a huge weight that you don't really understand until you've been in those sort of command positions, and especially at that owner or CO position or whatever. It's crazy. I've grown immensely just from doing milsim and being in those positions, which has affected me in my real life, both personally and professionally in jobs and stuff. So, I can certainly relate to that.
Well, I was your 2IC of the company for a while there, but it didn't feel the same. Like, even on those ops where you couldn't make it, it was just sort of, I'm just sort of babysitting, trying to get a feel of how this all works, because I hadn't really had that much experience at that level before and everything. And also sort of because we're in a tank and we're a bit further back. I don't know, I guess partially because of our leadership style, because I'm up there with them, that I'm like, I'm responsible. These are my guys. I want to look after them. I can see them running off to do their things. Yeah, you get a bit more sort of time and that sort of stuff. But that's probably been sort of the challenge for me, is just making sure everyone's utilized and enjoying themselves and trying to, I guess, do honor to the position that I've been put into and make sure I do it well and that everyone respects the position and appreciates and enjoys what we do.
Yeah, my head's going to fall off from nodding so much because I just... Anyway, Wanderer, what about yourself? What was your biggest challenge?
So, currently a sort of funny side challenge I'm having at the moment is just the mental adjustment for me and Razor. 2 weeks ago I was Razor's CEO, now I was in his mind, and he'll sit there and up and go, Wanderer,
can you go deal with this?
What? Oh, wait, yeah, that's right.
Hang on a second. That is my job.
The student becomes the master.
Yeah. But other than that, it's in operation. It's very much the same as Razor, but like juggling comms is a whole.
Juggling comms is a whore.
Well, yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah. it's a whole new ball game. We used to just juggle section net and 61, and now all of
Yeah.
a sudden we've got 60, 61, our own net. Last stop, unfortunately, Sharp was having issues with his PC running, so I was trying my best to run as pronto as well,
Yeah.
which was tricky in itself. And yeah, just juggling all these different tasks, doing them at once. And then, as Ray said, trying to do onto my position, and especially, I've got some big shoes to fill. Henzo made my job look extremely easy, and I can tell you it's not.
Yeah.
Well, the dude had about 1,000 years experience on you as
Yeah.
well, so
Yeah, God, yeah.
No, it was really good to help set us up for success
yeah,
before he
absolutely.
departed. It was much appreciated. Hence why he got the
HD.
discharge that he did. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. He was a real gentleman. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Good answers. Essentially, I'll be with that.
Medical reptile again. Sorry, don't know who you are, but hi.
Oh, come on, take a stab.
I mean,
I wonder.
it's not Brosh because I know Brosh on here is Brosh. So, how much do you think the new cat merger will interact with what we have set up now? The fact that it's CBRN makes cat a game changer. Will this affect submissions in the future with setup?
Yeah, so Cat, as some of you may or may not be aware, essentially Ace Pharmacy, Ace Pharmacy, there was another one that's gone now. Oh God, I can't think of it. Anyway, so there's Ace Pharmacy, there's Cat Medical, and there's... Yeah, I can't think of it. Anyway, but essentially, those three developers are looking to merge all into Cat. That is the end state of the mods. I do believe Ace Pharmacy may be remaining on its own, but I haven't really spoken to Mystic about it too much. But yeah, essentially they're looking to merge to create a extremely configurable mod that allows the units or the people using it to choose the level of realism, difficulty, and those two, I suppose, and features within the mod or within their gameplay. So, for an example, they recently added, or no, they didn't actually recently. It was previously. They added advanced heart rhythms for CPR. That's something that we don't run because I feel that it's just too sort of pushing
walking that line between realism and playability. Exactly. Yeah.
It's absolutely things that we can look at implementing in the future, but I think just having the correct trainings and the understanding and the right balance is going to be super important. So that's the same with anything that CAT is going to implement in the future, whether it's CBRN and they're looking at adding surgeries. So another example is fractures. So for Ace Pharmacy, there's different types of fractures which have to be treated different ways. You have to realign bones and stuff, and it's all done through.
Slap a splint on it, keep running.
It's all done through the same aspects of interaction with the patient and that sort of stuff. But
through the Ace menu and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. But it just adds that level of complexity, and the dev team is very much, especially the Salamander, the main dude for Cat Medical, is very much in the same mindset as me in terms of things being configurable and being able to be turned on and off for particular units, or something he and I have discussed at length. They're a great team. I'm actually quite well connected with them. It's been awesome to communicate with them directly. But yeah, so with anything that comes with Cat, we will look at it, assess it, see if it's something that we want to add, if it's reasonable, and essentially go from there. But the ability to be able to turn it on and off is just a godsend and allows us to trial things and not have to worry about going, oh shit, Cat's going to update and it's going to ruin everything, because we can just turn it off. And then and
also, if it's all sort of merged into one, you would imagine that an update would incorporate, it all working.
Yeah, is that they're very good in terms of not releasing until it's at a pretty probably beta stage rather than alpha stage. And if they do need to do some sort of alpha testing, is that they will create a dev version, send it out, get people to trial it. Same as like most dev teams, but these guys are a little bit more thorough with it, I feel, and they're just a good team. So I'm really keen for a lot of the stuff they're implementing, like the CBRN, because essentially it will nullify our old system, which is a little bit clunky and hard to work with. So having a simple system that allows you to just go place module, place fucking area, yep, CBRN area, cool, and off you go. And then it integrates into the medical system. So treating airway injuries and stuff, like that's just cool as shit. And it makes our job easier as mission makers. So absolutely it'll affect missions. It'll open up dynamics a lot. But if there's something that we're not happy with, simply turn it off, assess it, trial it, whatever we want to do. And then if we don't want to, we'll just leave it turned off, which we have plenty of settings turned off at the moment, or things that we don't have available.
Yeah, it's also pretty user-friendly for our guys too, because it is all through ACE now. We're not, you know, checking infection through a separate menu and things like that. It's all in ACE. It's all done through that, you know. So you know, that's really handy. Cool. So Keegan mentioned something when we were talking before about golf and that sort of stuff, which is a really good point for any secos and section members and FOs and everything listening. Feel free to go to golf about what they have, you know, available for each mission, or if you're looking to do some training, or what tactics they have available to them and that sort of thing. Like, get to know them. The better you know them, the better you're going to be able to use them, the more fun they're going to have. So yeah, absolutely take the time. They're an asset, like all our assets. They're an asset that you absolutely want to get to know. Same with Echo, what they can and can't do. And Hotel, Kaz runs, what they're capable of and what they can't deal with and all that sort of stuff. So yeah. Absolutely. Mike is airborne. Yes, Mike has been recently. I don't know if it'll always be, but
mission maker's discretion.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. All right. I forget. How long do we go for? Do we go for 2 hours or an hour and a half?
Usually about an hour and a half.
All right, cool. So we've got a little bit more time. Yeah. No, it's good. Like, we're getting lots of questions too. So please don't give me a fucking. You'll get what you get, and you'll be happy with it. BJ too, if you want to dictate.
Yeah.
Or as I say to the primary school kids that I work with, you get what you get, you don't get upset. I am. Well, then make more missions. All right, one for you, Dino. I'm going to get moving on before I start getting hate messages in my Discord. What are your plans to future-proof Asot? So, again, you touched on this earlier. You're going into VicPol. You're going to be at the Academy. Your availability may be somewhat limited. We're not sure yet. But in the event that, you know, you are completely unavailable for a period of time, what plans and what things have you put in place and set in motion to future-proof Asot for when you're at the Academy or unavailable when you're, you know, actually a police officer and that sort of thing, and you have to be away for periods of time?
Yeah, well, you nailed it on the head, essentially. It's the unknown, really, at this time. I'm at the Academy. Well, this is all in hopefulness that I will get in.
Theoretical at this point.
Theoretical, but if it all goes to plan, I'll be at the Academy. God, it's nearly like 8 months or something. Like, it's 32 or 31 weeks, including a little bit of work placement, but it's a long time. So, and then after that, like, God knows, night shifts, you know, I don't actually really know.
You will not have control of your life for quite some time.
Yeah, but and then because you're on probation for 2 years, including the time of training, but
and you'll get shifted around to different stations and all that sort of stuff.
It's not that much worse than Army, to be honest.
Well, that's true. Yeah,
because you can put in preferences and things like that. To my understanding, you can put in preferences, but for your initial 2 years, you have to be at a 24-hour station. So, and there's obviously only going to be limited ones of those around Melbourne. So I'll have some stability for some time, which is
I think
which
you
is
have
good.
to, because my mate's brother, who I'm also mates with, is now fully licensed copper and everything, has been for a few years now, and he's from the Bendigo area in Central Vic. And when he did his, he had to actually go to Melbourne for can't remember how long, it was a period of time though, and do like a metro experience and then go to a rural station, do a rural experience. So there is a little bit of moving around in those first couple of years.
Yeah, definitely, and that's bang on the money essentially. But I don't see myself, if I was to go rural, I'll hopefully go more towards homes or sort of the South Gippsland region, and then metro. We're probably going to be ending up staying or living on sort of the outer suburbs of Melbourne anyway, just for ease of getting to the academy, and then future proofing for moving around and stuff. But anyway, enough about my personal plans. But
let's talk about what we're really here to talk about, Dino. And it's not your shit; it's Asot. Let's get it.
So yeah, this is something that J4 had a meeting recently about, and just a chat to sort of get my long-term goals for Asot on the table, and to start putting things in place for that. So essentially, we are future-proofing in the case that I do have to step away, either part-time or even fully, to the extent of I just can't attend missions, I don't have the time to dedicate to the unit, that sort of stuff. And essentially, the end state is that we have someone able to step up into my position, my current position. I then sort of step up or aside, not so much up per se, but I'll just step sort of aside. And then J4 will continue to do what they do, essentially. No real change. But it would just be that we have essentially from now until whenever I get in to plan and prepare for that, and to
make sure the person stepping up's ready to do it and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Able to commit that time and that sort of stuff. And that goes into everything that we do. So, making sure that the mission makers are well skilled and understand how to to maintain a rhythm and produce missions. Same with trainers, same with J1. All those departments need to be self-sufficient, or at least have people there to be able to drive them and continue to maintain them, is super important. So that is essentially the plan, is to become self-sufficient in most, if not all, of the departments, and essentially me being able to take that back seat as if I'm away on field, which has been proven to be successful anyway in the past. So, but it's just now essentially doing that with
extended time.
And potentially, I don't want to say indefinite, but for extended periods of time, and potentially not being able to be on the Discord very often and that sort of stuff. Like, I'll always put gaming as my number one hobby. Like, that's just me. That's just what I do. And then when I am going to be gaming, it's most likely going to be ARMA. Just a little crack addict. But it's just
comparing ARMA to a debilitating and destructive addiction. That's cool. That's cool. Mature rating, guys. It's all good. It's all good.
Right here,
he's not too far off.
But yeah, that's essentially the plan, is to future-proof me being away for long periods of time, which we're not, like, again, we're not too far off. Like, if me being able to step away, like, there's only probably J2 is the one thing that I really, rule with an iron fist, and that's probably it. Everything else is maintaining itself, and it's just a matter of taking that next level, getting someone just as crazy as me to step up and be able to do what I do. But with the team that I've had, with the new guys, so Source2, Parakai, and True, it's just been amazing. Like, me being able to not have to do as much, like focus on my campaign or focus on my exams and that sort of thing. Like, True is an absolute godsend during my time in course, and that, like, just an angel. Like,
and shout out to all of those guys, because it's
absolutely
not just about their ability to do the job, it's that you can trust them to do it to a standard that you expect, that you're happy with. Like, they've done a lot of work over this time, and we definitely want to get them on for a stream fairly shortly. But while we're talking about them, like, absolutely shout out. Like, they've done so much in just the short amount of time. They've had so much dumped on them, and they haven't complained. They've just got it done, and done it really, really well. So absolute props to you guys. Well done.
And that's what makes me have faith in being able to do or move towards the future, is because of people like those guys stepping up, and like you guys, for example, stepping up and being able to just be like, yep, cool, I know they're going to do not only what I expect or would like, but take it even further, like, and you just need good people in those roles, and we have that. So it's only a continuation of what we're doing, and I feel like I feel like I should be far more stressed about that fact, but I'm just simply not.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm just taking it day by day, and I'm just like, yep, cool, right? This is getting done. This is getting done, and it's working. So until it doesn't, I won't. I'll just keep trucking along, essentially. So yeah, but that's essentially the end goal is for me to be able to step away either indefinitely or for long periods of time, and just it'll continue as normal. Like there's no reason for it not to really. So that's the end state.
Yep, fair enough. Keegan's asking my promotion when. I recommend we make him of the rank Brigadier Bombardier, because then his initials would be BB, and I can start calling him Baby Keegan.
I don't even know what the ranks.
I wouldn't be able to tell you what the arty
Nah.
the
I
arty
think
guys are.
actually, I think the only difference is Bombardier. I think like so Corporal or Lance Corporal and Corporal Bombardier. I think that's it. I think that's honestly it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt's also wondering when Keegan's promotion is, which is very nice of him. He's really considerate of other people. I appreciate that about him.
I suppose it works well into my next question for you guys is what are your sort of expectations and ideas for the future of 1-1 in terms of as a PHQ and for the sections and that sort of stuff?
Take it away.
Yeah, well, we definitely just obviously filling out the sections to start with. That's where we want to get done sort of straight off the bat, and you get our starlight sorted as we don't have one at the moment, and just get us running smoothly to start with. And then we've spoken to the 1-1 staff, and we're looking at bringing in a quarterly training and just bringing in a little bit more milsim without overdoing it. We're going to try to find that line of just having, I guess, trying to encourage that structure a bit more.
Yeah.
Of what we believe, what we want 1-1 to be, just a driven, all-out infantry fighting machine, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And we've already seen that. Like I've never seen section chat so active. I've never seen staff chats so active. It's I should caveat to that. It has been a long time since I've seen that to be active, and it's just awesome to see like the camaraderie. So these fucking things are stuck to my teeth. The
video's not that good. I thought you were just pointing at your teeth. I'm like, these fucking things. Well, they help you chew.
They really fuck up some words for me. Anyway, yes, that word. And I suppose call sign bond that has happened so quickly is really been an eye opener, or not an eye opener, but just a bit of a blessing. Strangers weeks ago, and now I feel like they're veterans. Like it's just crazy. So I think what you guys have promoted in terms of what you want 1-1 to be, and the ideas that we have coming from J4 into the staff meeting this coming week and stuff, I think it's just going to drive that even further. Like I'm so keen to see that develop, and your vision, because I have my vision aligns, or your vision aligns with my vision, and you guys are doing your vision, so it's just working really well. But Razor, what about yourself in terms of what you sort of see for the future of 1-1?
Now, this may surprise some of you guys, but Wander and I do actually talk. So most of what he said was pretty much was like 3-4 times a day.
Not really exaggerating. That's the same.
No. So our expectations are obviously we share those expectations. But I did want to sort of touch on what you were talking about there, Dano. Like, we talked about it earlier about, like it can be draining as leadership to be leading guys that aren't really interested in like the milsim side of things, and it can be draining to be under a leader that really wants to milsim and you just want to shoot shit.
Yeah.
We had a meeting with these guys, and I came out of it and I was so pumped, so energized. I was just so ready. Like, let's get going, let's get it done.
Yeah.
Because they were all completely on board. Few of them brought up a couple of points, were absolutely great points. We addressed those. We've been giving and receiving feedback left, right, and center. Everyone's really trying to sort of, improve, develop. It's been such an incredible couple of weeks. I really, really hope that it continues. It's not just like it's a novelty thing, but the feeling I get with the attitude from these guys is this is something that's going to continue down the track. So for me, I couldn't have asked for better. Like, these guys are the absolute heaven sent of staff. I could have staff that, they're really experienced, and not that these guys aren't, but like really, really experienced and all that sort of stuff, but just don't really have that drive anymore, or just aren't sort of interested in the milsim side of things. Like, I've got guys that have experience, maybe not necessarily in leadership, but within milsim and that sort of stuff. Wanted leadership, are keen to improve, are keen to develop as leaders, to help the guys under them develop, to follow and pursue that milsim field that is what we advertise. We are a milsim group. Did anyone get a clip of Thomas and Dean last op? We don't need a clip, man. That is burned in everyone's memory. That's going on his tombstone. The date and everything. I'm going to go with a hammer and chisel and do it myself.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Guns on back. Guns on back. Double tap G. The two things we tell you in base. But yeah, no, absolutely. So energized, so pumped. And I'm really, really excited to see what we can do with trainings, and really just sort of pushing, not pushing, but like nurturing that sort of milsim drive that these guys have, and
the attitude, really.
The attitude and the positivity and everything they're bringing to it. It's really, it's getting to me. Even just talking about it, I'm feeling I'm more bouncy and everything, mate. I'm just feeling so much better.
Well,
my camera's...
Oh, cameras.
Hang on a sec. Last time I did this, I had to reset something. Oh, Jesus. Sweet Lord, what is happening?
Well, while you rummage with that, it's there's two things I wanted to comment on. Was the fact that we had, when we ran our NCO training, I think we had all but one, maybe two attend, and some of them had already done it previously. That is just a testament to their commitment and enthusiasm and that sort of stuff, and that's just piggybacking on what Razor said in terms of the right attitude and how positive and energetic it makes you feel, let alone the guys that are in the actual call sign. On that, and my second point is that I've had staff, especially 2ICs, messaging me being like, hey, have you got feedback? You guys yourselves, hey, come up and have a chat afterwards. Hey, what did you think? It's awesome just to see that, drive to improve. No matter how experienced, how many hours you've got, we can always improve, and that's, for me personally. I was speaking to someone this afternoon, said, how can I improve this? And being a veteran member and stuff, they weren't able to offer me anything, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't stop that you always, you need to be open and willing to listen, and I feel like that's something that I do. I push really hard, because you have to be, otherwise if you're a closed book, then what does it achieve? But it's just some people are better at coming forward, and some people, or some people are more approachable than others. It's just the nature of rank, essentially, or leadership within communities and stuff like that. But yeah.
We've got a couple of minutes left, so this next question is going to have to be a short answer, because we've got to do our thank yous and goodbyes and everything. So while you're answering this question, if you want to have a look and see if we've got anything that we'd like to shout out from our funding, anything?
Yes.
So Wanderer, this one's yours, mate.
Yeah. So, obviously, talking about just being, it's a great time. We're just talking about being hyped and pumped and everything. What changes that have recently occurred that's got you the most excited?
Oh, that's a hard question, because there's so much that we've already sort of touched on. I think the biggest one for me. Oh God,
he can't help you.
I'd say attitude, the eagerness. And not only for just in game, but out of game, like, being one of me part of departments and, chaplains and just all that stuff. Like, it's just been great. Fresh sets of eyes and stuff, like new outlooks on things, new outlooks on internal, but also external, in terms of how we can improve, and ideas from previous units or things that people have seen. And, like just fresh sets of eyes and experience, essentially. I suppose just the future proofing as well, like just being able to let the community run itself. That's something that I've always sort of strived for. And we're sort of at that state, take a little bit of a step back, but we're well on our way again. And that's probably, probably the 3 or 4 biggest things I'm looking forward to that I think I'm super keen for.
Honestly, we've recovered so quick. Like, it's just we've talked about it tonight, but just the turnaround from, hey Jerry, in a gown. What is it with you boys and your girls walking past on stream in a gown?
Yes.
I completely lost my train of thought. She looks good. Yeah, the turnaround. Like, we went from that's pretty much it. Like, there's no coming back from this.
Yeah,
it's been good. To coming out of what should have been something that takes it, and it will take time, but it could have taken us 12 to 18 months to recover from.
Yeah.
And we've got a very strong J4 team. We've got extremely strong section staff. We've got so much interest and good attitude from section members. Like, one of the things that we were talking about before was the active of the chat. I love jumping into those section chats, which, yes, I can see those. Stop saying those nasty things about me.
Razor smells.
And seeing these new members jumping in, being like, hey, I'm such and such, I have X amount of experience, or I have no experience, but I'm really keen. Hey, you know, like, these are some of the things I like doing. Does anybody want to play some games? Like, just, that is so amazing to see. Like, that's not, we didn't really get to see much of that before. And part of that was because a lot of the guys sort of already knew each other. But, like, it's so good to see that coming in here. And I just feel like we've sort of come out even stronger, the other side of this, so much quicker than I ever expected us to.
Yeah. I'd agree, definitely. I think the speed of it was the big shock to me. To going from, as you said, Razor, potentially the closure of Asot, or at least in the ARMA department, to stronger than ever, in my opinion. It was a big shock and really heartwarming, honestly, to have the members step up into the positions and take on that responsibility and that sort of stuff. It's just been crazy. So yeah, it's been really good. I do want to get this last question out to you guys, because I feel like it's an important one for me. If we mind running maybe a couple minutes
we'll run a couple of minutes over.
Yeah.
But essentially, what are your opinions and assessments of the new sections so far? Not only for what we've spoken about, but in terms of the staff and their like even just the icons and sort of the attitudes of the different types of staff and stuff, and also how they've gone in ops, like the different sort of mentalities and tactics and stuff of each call sign. It might be too early to answer that, but what are you guys' thoughts so far?
So yeah, when it comes to sort of the tactics and stuff, like, it is still a bit early. Like, a lot of these sections aren't completely filled out. They're still trying to get the feel of each other. Their section members are trying to figure out how the staff works. Staff are trying to make sure that they gel with their section members. So it's still early days, but the interest and the positivity I've seen from them has been absolutely fantastic. I kind of wish we'd run a competition for this patch thing, though. Like, holy crap, there is some quality fucking work coming out.
Yeah, like, if you
oh my god!
They've been down there.
Yeah, they're right. Right, where's my hand gone? There it is. There. I couldn't find my hand in the camera.
I think I go up. No, right. No, left.
We don't know. It's chaos over here.
This way.
But yeah, like, the amount of effort and work that's gone into it from each call sign shows a level of passion that, only actions like that can really show at this early day. You don't see that from people that are just like, yeah, all right, I'll give it a go. Like, that's incredible. As for, their quality, like, in ops, what I've seen so far, like, there's room for improvement. A lot of these guys are stepping into roles they haven't really done before or haven't done for quite some time, but they're doing fantastically and they're working together well and they're communicating well. One of the examples I was going to give before was sit reps. If I call for a sit rep, when I get one, we're talking about how important it is for PHQ to sort of have that situational awareness and everything. When I get a sit rep from these guys, I know they maybe it's not perfect to the pro forma or anything, but it's all the information I need is in there. And I then can go, okay, cool. I know where you guys are at and I know what you're up to. I know why you've stopped. Like, Alpha hit a roadblock and then managed to get their Vic stuck trying to cross back over the freeway last week. And I was sort of looking at the map. I'm like, they've been standing still a while, so I just called for a sit rep. And by the end of the sit rep, I was like, yep, no worries. We'll send Echo down. They managed to get it unstuck. They let us know. We called Echo back.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Just that passed down to comms. At one point, I did, again, myself am in a position I'm still learning, so I'm still making mistakes as well. But at one point, I gave out SME, but forgot the S, the situation. And one of the guys, I think it was Carney, I might be wrong about that, don't quote me. But one of the guys was like, why are we doing this, essentially? I was like, oh, yep, good point. You called me out on it. Thank you for that. This is the situation. This is why we're doing this. This is why we're going here. Whoa!
Photo bomb.
Yeah, so absolutely super happy and honestly so excited to see where they go from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, Razor couldn't really put it any better. Like, we keep talking up our leadership team, but we couldn't have a better team, and that's not just the Secos. It stretches right down to the 2 and 3 RCs. Like, they're all driven. They all want to learn more. They're all wanting to, we had just the other day when it was Xylo and Bravo guys. He wanted to come up for a meeting, and they all came up. Even though it could have just been done by just Xylo, they all came up because they all want to be seen as one team.
Yeah.
In everything, which is important, I think, in leadership when you're leading with other people, is you need to be one united front.
Yeah, 100%.
And there's only one way that your 2 and 3 IC can learn from your Seco and so on. It's by being there. So, yeah, it was really good. Excuse me.
Yeah, cool. Well, that's all my questions. So
awesome. That's all of ours too. Yeah. So, have we got any shout outs, Dino? So, since we have you here, so I don't have to message you.
Yeah, just the usual continuous donators. You guys know who you are. We've shouted out many times, and that's that's continuing to flow in. So our balance is doing really well still. So, but yeah, absolutely feel free. If you are able to spare a couple of dollary dues, then the information's in the key information as well as in the Twitch details as well. And a little bit helps and goes towards us maintaining servers and all that sort of stuff. So, but
it also allows us to do, for those newer guys again who may be watching this in the future, it allows us to do some cool shit, like we have 3D printed versions of citations and awards. So
still coming, I promise. They are.
they are. They're not painted, so they're getting painted and stuff. But that money allowed us to sort of buy those, which can then be sent out to people like Xylo, who's got the leadership award, Wanderer, who's got a leadership award, 1 year citations. It's coming into 2 year in a couple of months.
Yeah.
For the 3 that are left. And I fully expect my founder's badge at some point too.
Yeah, it's done, or it's there.
But yeah, stuff like that. We can look at doing like some stubby holders, like whatever. Like it does go mostly towards the servers, and anything like that will obviously be put forward to the community for a vote as to whether or not you want us to spend your money on it. Essentially. Yeah. But it just does give us some pretty cool options. It also means that in the future, there's this would be a J4 decision, but potentially an upgrade to our server box or something like that.
Yep. Which is something we're looking at currently. Not that we can get a hell of a lot better, but it's something that we can look at. Absolutely, yeah, because there's more stuff that's come out. So,
but yeah, on that, thank you for your donations, and as Dino said, any little bit helps, whether it's $1 or 100 or whatever. It's all appreciated equally, guys. It really is, because it does help keep the unit afloat. I was going to say us afloat, but I'm like, no, not the stream. The stream does fine. We don't need your money. Although, no, we don't need your money.
Note of donations, if you are looking to donate, guys, donate. I believe we do have it in it's in the
key
Twitch,
information.
It's in the key information channel. It's also in our Twitch.
Yeah, we got a link just down below the screen there,
and in the website as well.
Yeah.
And again, for those new guys, please subscribe or follow. I think is the correct term. It's not. We don't have subscription yet. Follow our Twitch account, because if we do get enough followers and meet all those goals, then we can become affiliates, which means that we can have subscription, and any money that goes to the stream will go straight to Asot. So that only helps the unit out even more. And also, we just like seeing higher numbers because it makes us feel warm and fuzzy, and like a big old digital hug. No, I don't know what I'm saying. Don't ask. Check out the website. You guys should know how to find that. Traffic there keeps it high on the Google search. We've got our Facebook. We've got. Do we have an Instagram yet? I don't know if we do. I know we've got a TikTok, as depressing as that is. YouTube, all that sort of stuff is down below. So jump in, subscribe to those, check them out. Just get those numbers up, and it also means that you won't miss any. Yeah, that's it. Our J5 department do a lot of work keeping those up to date, and it means you won't miss any cool stuff that sort of comes out on it, because there is occasionally some cool stuff. Apparently, TikTok's got some funny stuff. I don't know. I hate the platform, but that's just me because I'm old.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you said it, and I didn't have to.
Yeah. Meal packs. Yes, on the website. For those of you that don't know, we have meal packs, which are a dress uniform essentially that will come with all your fruit salad and regalia and everything. So any citations and awards you get will go on the chest of your meal pack. You'll be able to click on it, see when you got it, see why you got it, all that sort of stuff. So they're really cool. They're in the works. They're not there yet, but they'll go up on the website. So just keep checking back, and I'm imagining there'll be an announcement when they're released.
Yeah, it's just updating essentially. We've just got a lot of them to update, so we'll be actually looking for people to help join that team to maintain that. So stand by for that. But yeah, we will be updating those in the coming weeks essentially. So
awesome. Anything else that I've missed from either of you guys?
No, I think it's all groovy.
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's thank our guest. Thank you, Dino. Thanks for coming on again, mate. It's always a blast having you. Next one should be actually a bit less than a month, because we're a bit late for this one. So keep an eye out for that. We will make posts leading up to it. So jump on and say good day. I hope you guys had fun. Thanks for all the questions in chat, guys. That was awesome. Always love answering the chat questions. But yeah, for tonight, I'm still weird. Lieutenant Razor Jacks.
And I'm
thanks for coming.
Still weird, Sergeant Wanderer. And we'll see you guys on the next one.